boys, midnight is either live or going live by the time you watch this. We're just a couple days away here, and it's time to start thinking about what are we going to do when midnight goes live. Well, I'm going to enjoy the expansion for what it is, take it all in, take my time doing the quests and everything, but here's what you can do to optimize the first week of midnight. Let's get right into it here, exactly what to do in week 1 of midnight, what to focus on first. Here we go, this one from the Comeback Kids.
Okay, midnight is finally here, and week 1 is where most players can feel a bit lost. They log in, try to sprint to the finish line, and then they have no idea what to do or how to get started. Well, today we're not gatekeeping because I'm not going to let that happen to you. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you exactly what to focus on in week 1 of Midnight World of Warcraft in the correct order so you don't miss any potential power, renown progression, rewards, and even some hidden tips. This is not a video in teaching you how to no-life the game or to not enjoy the World of Warcraft launch. At the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do, what to ignore, and what actually helps your character and account long-term. So whether you're a returning player, brand new to retail, or just someone who doesn't want to waste time at the start of an expansion, this right here is your roadmap. So make sure to save this video because I promise you, you're gonna want to come back to this. Starting with the first thing that you need to do the second you log in is lock in your professions. This is a massive mistake so many people make. Do not wait until you hit max level.
Okay, this is actually pretty good because I've done this before by accident. Leveled up and then not realized my herbalism or mining wasn't like already, you know, capable of being leveled up. So yeah, you should do this actually.
To pick your profession, you need to pick them immediately. There's a couple reasons for this, and it's very simple. Number 1, the profession, knowledge, and progressions you gain through this, in a way, I will say, are time gated. But not only that, it is permanent progression. Every single knowledge point that you earn, of course, compounds over the entirety of an expansion. And if you delay that by 1 week, technically you would be falling behind. Now, beyond just long-term profession.
Now me, I'm not a profession, Andy. I don't really like the profession system. Not because it's a bad system. I just don't participate in it. It's like too much shit going on at once. So I buy what I need from professions, have people craft me shit, and that's about it. But if you want to make money, right? Gold is a thing. Hey, you want some gold in this game? Definitely. You don't have to craft anything, but just getting those gathering professions going, mining, herbalism, that kind of shit, it's a really good way to make money, especially early in an expansion.
Power, whether it be through gathering or crafting, of course.
Genuinely, how is it too much going on? Because it's more than one thing. I'm a one thing kind of guy, you know. That's it. Put this in this hole. That's about it. That's all I can focus on. And anything beyond that is just going too far.
Of course, you have the amazing gold opportunity here. The first week of an expansion is the most profitable window of the entire expansion cycle. The demand for everything is at its highest, the supply of everything is at its lowest, and sweaty players are going to be throwing their gold at anything that could possibly give them an edge or power, whether it be flasks, potions, weapons, and armor crafts, enchants, rep buffs. Everything here will sell at a premium. So
Arcanimus says, I think even if you don't participate in professions, you should at least pick up 2 gathering professions. Yeah, and gather while you explore. Exactly. That's what I was saying too, Arcanimus. That's the best thing about early expansion. Like, if you don't want to do professions, that's fine, but just gather shit while you're doing your quests. And you can make a ton of gold on the side by posting that shit on the auction house.
If you pick your professions early and level them as you're questing through the zones, you'll be progressing through 2 systems at the same time instead of just having to go back and grind them later. Not only that, another massive head start that people just don't know about is the profession knowledge treasures scattered throughout all of the expansion zones. The idea of this is that in Midnight World of Warcraft, there are 24 free knowledge points that you could loot just by flying around and picking them up off of the ground. That's 24 knowledge points you can immediately invest into your profession specialization tree before other players even realize this sort of thing exists. So click the link in the description below, find your profession knowledge points and tools, pick them up on your map while you're in the area, and you'll be good to go. So to wrap up this section quickly, pick your professions as soon as possible, and as you level through the campaign, pick up those knowledge tools, click the link, find where to go, grab it, and hit a nice little 2-for-1. Now that your professions are locked in, your next focus is the most straightforward.
You don't think you could do... No, you could definitely gather and shit during... I don't know if you can... Maybe there's some profession stuff that's locked still, but you can definitely gather and do a bunch of that while you're doing the pre-launch period for sure, J-Mal. I think that's what a lot of people do use the pre-launch period for, is a lot of profession shit. Is your mic turned on? I don't think so. They started this in Dragonflight. Yes, they did. Nothing says you have to, But you'd be handicapping yourself. It's literally free gold, if nothing else, for sure. It is free gold. Yeah, I don't do professions, like I said, but if you wanna, put yourself a little bit ahead on gold, this is a really good way to do it.
Forward one in the video, and it's questing through every single zone at midnight and finishing the overall campaign. Remember, the goal here is definitely not to just sprint to level 90. It's about unlocking all of the systems and building your long-term progression of your account and character at the same time. The campaign gates major features in the game like weekly content, world quest, and endgame activities.
Right.
So if you just skip it or half finish it, you're definitely going to bite yourself in the butt having to go back and do it all over again. So the key here is simple. We're not trying to be like super sweaty. We're just trying to be efficient. We want to finish the campaign in each zone, then clear the side quests that contribute to renown and meaningful rewards. So by the time you hit level 90, you should definitely have your campaign complete, multiple renown levels across the entirety of the board leveled up, and your character fully integrated, ready for the expansion's core systems. Now, at this point, after you push through all of this, this is typically where players ask themselves, okay, I'm max level, now what? Firstly, your next big priority is grabbing your weekly quests down in Silvermoon. You can grab these over by Lady Liadrin and Haldoran Brightwing, which are the Unity against the Void quest line, and then your weekly reputation quest that gives you some nice renown. We're grabbing these as soon as possible because not only are they very high value and once per week critical.
These are probably the best early expansion too. Like right now, yes, you're at a point in the war where then we're seriously like picking up the weekly shit. What the fuck's the point? But definitely early in the expansion, it's and early in the expansion and early every season, this is really important.
Reward anchors, we want to make sure to grab them before we do anything else so we can knock out multiple activities at once and be as efficient as possible. Remember, this meta quest gives you an Apex cache, which includes gold, currency to upgrade your gear, a bountiful key for your delve.
That's really important there. The bountiful key for your delves. Delves early in expansion. And we've seen this since they really buffed bountiful delves about midway through the War Within. It's such a good way to gear out. Such a good way to gear out early in expansion. It's a great way to supplement your Mythic Plus runs and everything. Great way to get crests and all that. It's an awesome way. Plus, it contributes to your vault. So that's a really big one for those early vaults to give you a variety of options.
As well as a veteran piece of loot twice a week, which is a nice little gear upgrade before the season opens up. So the second you hit max level and you complete the campaign, go to Silvermoon, grab these quests, and complete these naturally while you're doing other chores. Now, once you got these locked in, your next focus is going to be opening up your map.
Delves will be open. Can you do delves in early access? I don't know those first couple of days. I know delves will be open before the season even starts. The thing that won't be open for delves is the bountiful delves. So the reason for your coffer keys and all. You won't be able to do bountiful delves right off the bat, but delves, early part of the expansion will be really good for gearing out.
And scouting out all of the possible world quests across the zones. Now, of course, regular world quests are important because they feed a wide variety of things for progressing your account, which includes some...
Yes, delves will be part of the leveling. Dungeons are even part of the leveling experience. All that shit is part of the leveling experience. The things that won't be open, the seasonal stuff, the Mythic, Zero, all that shit, none of that will be open yet.
Reputation, their gold, adventure level gear upgrades, which is decent, and more importantly, ever so often you can come across a world quest that gives you coffer key shards. Remember, these are very, very critical to focus on as soon as they're available, because if you combine 100 of these shards, you will get a bountiful key, which is your golden ticket, into progressing as fast as possible the second the season opens up with bountiful delves. You take these keys, go into Bountiful Delve, unlock the Bountiful Chest, and get a free champion piece of gear. That's how it works. Additionally, don't forget part of your world quest comes from the weekly...
You get a free piece of heroic gear when you get to Delves 8 and shit and beyond. So that's a really big deal. Early on, I think maybe saving your coffer keys until you push that high in Delves is really important too. But you won't be able to do Bountiful Delves, as I said before, until later on in the release.
Special assignments. These are the higher impact world quest objectives tied to the zone.
I have an entire video about the timeline laid out for how Bountiful Delves will unlock Mythic Zeros, heroic dungeons, even all that shit. There's a whole time gating process, like the first month of WoW, the release, which is why I'm telling you guys, like, gearing out, while it's important, early in the process, it's not at all. It's really just about going through the quest, enjoying it all, taking it all in. There's no real pressure for gearing out, because the first season and all these end game content pillars will not be open yet.
Activity that reward larger chunks of reputation, potential bountiful
Always
keys,
use
progression rewards.
another
Cappy,
death
thank you for the
knight.
tier 1, man. I appreciate that. Following and then subbing today. Oh my god, am I doing something right? This must be a less scuffed stream than usual. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Death Knight of our Scourge.
And even
Come,
veteran
servant. We have a
And a follow
realm
from Dad.
to destroy.
My dad just followed me. Oh shit, Dad Freddy. Thank you, man. Yeah, heroic dungeons will be available preseason, early access, I believe. I don't know about that. I'm not 100% sure on that. I know Mythic Zeros and shit won't be.
gear when you open them. Just remember, the veteran gear only applies to the first 2 chests that you open. The idea is you want to be clearing these world quests naturally
have to
while
go
you
back and
move
watch my own
through
video.
zones. You do not want to miss the opportunity to gain your bountiful keys through all of this, as it can be honestly a pretty damn big setback if you go into the season with 0 keys. So definitely do this, knock them out, and prioritize world quests tied to Renown or key shard rewards. Next up, you have your world events, and this is something you 100% can't ignore in week 1 either. The idea is that each of the 4 midnight zones has its own large-scale world event that's directly tied to gaining renown, currencies, weekly caches, great vault progression, which is nice. Firstly, you have the Abundance World event that actually rotates between all 4 zones, and the idea is simple. You dive into the cave for 3 minutes, you gather as much treasure as possible, you donate it for scaling buffs, and then you complete the weekly for reputation and earn your cash. For Herondar, you have a weekly quest where you choose a relic and complete a short scenario tied to that relic story, and it's a choice once per week. It's warbound wide, and of course it rewards you with reputation, a weekly cash, and even potentially housing decoration items, which is cool. In Eversong Woods, you also have the Saltheral's Sorai, which is a faction-based reputation progression between the 4 factions in Silvermoon, being the Blood Knights, the Farstriders, the Magisters, and the Shades of the Row. The idea is that you choose a sub-faction each week, similar to the cartels in the Undermine. You complete...
Here you go. I got it, guys. I'm a man, as you know, they tell me, Samiccus, man of the people. I could have forced the people to go watch my own fucking video about this shit, but I got it right here for you. March 2nd, okay, when the official expansion goes live, we'll have the official global launch. This is after the pre-launch, which is happening this Thursday. Midnight Dungeons will be available on normal difficulties, and then Delves available on all tiers. So pushing Delves up early in this expansion is a really good way to spend your time early on, even though they won't be bountiful yet. Then March 17th, then that's when we officially get like the raids opening up and shit. So we get the 2 raids opening up, Season 1 dungeons available on Heroic and Mythic 0 difficulties. So early on, you will not have Midnight Dungeons. As I said before, you know, you were saying that, King Julian, I was saying I don't think that's true, or I wasn't sure about it. No, it's not true. Normal difficulties all will have early on in the expansion until March 17th, when Heroic and Mythic 0 difficulties open up. PvP Season 1 begins and all that. And then March 24th, we get the 3rd raid, Dream Rift Mythic difficulty available. So there you go. That one opens up automatically Mythic difficulty. Void Spire raid, March on Quel'Danas. There we go. So Mythic level difficulties for the first couple raids will not be open yet until March 24th. And then March 31st, we get the March on Quel'Danas, which will be the 3rd raid, and that will be opening on all the difficulties. And then April 7th, we get the raid finder shit and story mode of these. So there you go. Man of the people, screenshot this shit, take it all in. That's what you can do. That's the
weekly
timing.
objectives, you defend runestones, and even earn the currency used for, you guessed it, cosmetics, recipes, housing decorations, and more. It also grants you Silvermoon Court reputation, which is like the overall
So pre-launch, do not do dungeons and delves. Well, delves you can go ahead and push those. I don't know if the delves will be open yet though, actually, because it says delves available on all tiers on March 2nd. So what's pre-launch for? Early access? Just doing the fucking campaign. That's really where you're going to get yourself. It's not about getting ahead, but if you want to get ahead, just do the campaign. Finish out the campaign in early access period, and then you could just jump straight into delves and everything else once it actually opens up, and normal difficulty dungeons. Now, the campaign does include delves and dungeons, so there's that side of it. For sure, that's going to be open, but I don't know about pushing everything in terms of tiers. I don't know if you'll be able to tier up your delves until the actual expansion launches.
marching rep which is good as well, which can give you some coffer key shards additionally. This one in particular has some really cool progression tied to achievements and mounts, so early progression here definitely matters. And then lastly, you have the Stormarian Assault in the Void Storm, which is the large-scale defensive event. So every 30 minutes to an hour or so, you get to defend the Stormarian Citadel, kind of like a wave-based tower defense scenario where you place defensives and prevent your singularity from being destroyed. You complete this, you guessed it, you get pinnacle cash, resources, stuff like that.
The really important thing for these world events, once what's it called? The Empowered Delves or whatever those open up, is those pinnacle caches, the first 2 that you get always give you coffer keys. So Bountiful Delves, once those are unlocked, using those keys in the Bountiful Delves, always doing 2 of these events, get 2 coffer keys, go into your Bountiful Delves. A really good way to gear out.
Just remember, these are pretty critical to do early on in the preseason as they give you your Renown and all these good rewards. So you definitely want to complete all 4 of these before the weekly reset. On the topic, we do need to talk about Renown a little bit more in depth because this is the backbone in Midnight progression and overall retail World of Warcraft, especially when the season is not active yet. Each of these have their own reward track filled with, of course, rewards, cosmetics, profession recipes, crafting patterns, powerful gear, currencies, mounts, cosmetics, housing items, and long-term progression advantages like bountiful keys and even free crests. So very, very valuable. And remember, all of this is warband wide, which means that once you do it once, it's completed across the entirety of your account. Not only that, each of these factions also has a contract available through Inscription, which you can buy on the auction house. So if you activate the appropriate contract for a specific Renown, every world quest you complete that way contributes towards that specific faction. So early on, it's a pretty nice boost if you're looking to min-max.
No, it's the Undermined shit. Damn it. You know I hated that contract shit? I did. For one, I just think it should have stayed active, like unless you change it. But every week I would start doing quests and I would forget to re-sign the contract every week. I wish it didn't reset. Like, it should just be that you sign the contract and you're locked in unless you go sign another contract. Because having to redo that every week always fucked me up because I never remembered. I can't remember shit. And I had to go remember to sign this damn contract before I started doing world quests every week.
Sweaty a little bit. So if I was you, I would check out one of the links.
It's like rebates from a fucking store. Like, who the fuck remembers to go online and cash in their rebate? Why didn't you just give me the fucking discount on my shit when I purchased it at the register? Why do I got to go online with my receipt and type it in and set up an email account with you and get my fucking... It's a workaround. It's a reach around. Sometimes reach arounds are good things, though, so maybe it's not a reach around. But you get what I'm saying. Kind of fucked up. Messes me up every time.
We have in the description. Go through all of these rewards and break down which one could be right for you, whether it be you're looking for a specific mount or a profession recipe or a cosmetic or a knowledge bonus. Check all these out and figure...
It's a different contract? Is it different? Maybe.
Figure out which Renown is best for you. Next up, you want to make sure you prep your solo content systems like Delves and Prey. This is where you'll be setting yourself up for the Season 1 launch, so you're not scrambling when the time comes. If you did not know, Delves are, of course, one of the core progression systems in Retail WoW now for solo or small group content. So at the moment right now, I believe we can level these up to Delves Tier 3 or 4. So the goal right now is to complete the introductory quest lines and understand how the system works, level it up to the max level we can, and get ready for the...
Whatever the max level is for Delves that they'll let you get up to early in the expansion, even if it's pre-release time, is just push it up as high as it can go. Because getting your Delves up to Tier 8, which I think is still the highest tier in terms of what could unlock from your vault from the Delves, that's what you want to do early on. Just max out that Delve level and get that shit up to Tier 8. If it's still Tier 8, that gives you the highest level shit.
The season opener. Prey is another very similar concept to Delves. You just want to unlock the Prey system over in Silvermoon, complete the introductory hunt, and understand how the targeting and whole reward system loop works. Prey, it pretty much will provide you with rewards, and of course, once the season begins, the rewards will drastically get improved, so it's a really, really solid, progression path layered on top of some other stuffs like Delves. We want it to get to the point so when time for Season 1 launches, you are completely ready for liftoff and you're heading toward the moon, getting as much champion gear and hero gear as possible. Now, at this point, we can talk about heroic dungeons because this is where a lot of players typically go wrong in Retail WoW. Yes, heroic dungeons, they give you adventurer level gear. Yes, they are technically spammable, but that does not mean you should log in and the second you hit max level, spam them for hours on end. Heroics at this point are just supplemental gear. They are not your primary progression for the first couple weeks of preseason of an expansion release. I'm telling you right now, if you ignore campaign progression, your renown tracks, world events, special assignments, and everything else you need to get done, you're delaying systems, and I promise you, you're making a huge mistake and you're going to mess up. The smart way to approach this is very simple. You use heroic dungeons at the end just to fill some gaps in your gear. So let's say, for example, you don't have a trinket or you don't have a good weapon. You find a dungeon that has the best in slot stats for you, and then you go target farm that dungeon until you get it. Do not treat heroic dungeons as your main progression engine. It is a ginormous mistake. This gear is meant to just be supplementary. Do not get baited. Next up, onto some optional demanding.
Yeah, and people think they can just slap them the second they hit 90. True, yeah, heroic dungeons early on can be painful with the groups you run them with. And also, it looks like heroic dungeons are not opening until Mythic Zeros open. So, I mean, is there even a point, I guess, to backfill if you don't think you're ready for Mythic Zeros? But, I mean, Mythic Zeros are going to be the way to go if you really want to push gear and you're really at the highest end of gear that you can get at that time. So, I mean, they open up together. Maybe Heroic and Mythic Zero is, you can go back and forth between them because Heroic are spammable. I mean, that's what he's, the best thing. But overall, I agree with him. Like, yeah, spamming heroic dungeons probably not the best thing to do.
Things we have first up,
Unless
PvP.
you're no-lifing.
You can technically start preparing for the PvP season with Voidstorm activities and open world events. The Voidstorm area has a bunch of outdoor content that is based around PvP that can give you a wide variety of PvP rewards, like gear as well as bloody tokens. But technically right now, you could be preparing for the PvP season by getting yourself full honor PvP gear and getting a base understanding of your character in that environment. Not only that, it could serve as like decent filler gear while you're building up your character's power overall. Of course, this is not mandatory at all, but it's just another path you could go down if you want to play one's character, even more. For example, I want to dive in.
I mean, another thing for the world PvP, it could just be fun. You could play this game and just play for fun. That is a thing, like having fun playing WoW. I know it's a foreign concept to a lot of WoW players, but imagine you play the game and you just have fun. Yeah, so maybe you try some of that new world PvP content or some of those new open world things, not for the gear, especially early in the expansion, but just for fun. It'd be crazy, right? What a foreign concept to WoW players.
The PvP and RBGs this season, so I'm going to get myself full honor PvP gear on my Arms Warrior, so when the season opens up and I have some free time, I can casually queue up some BGs. Now, I also just wanted to briefly touch on housing endeavors. No, I'm not trying to be like Blizzard and shove housing right down your throat again, because this is...
Seriously, the cock of housing has been thrust into every orifice of my body at this point. I'm so sick of hearing about housing. Not because I hate the housing, shit. It's fine. I get that it's part of the game that wasn't necessarily made for me. I'm not a housing Andy. Okay, fucking shoot me. But my God, Blizzard has, like, if you know nothing about WoW, you would think the Midnight expansion is a housing simulator. It's been literally advertised so damn much at this point. But it's a good feature for the people who want it. I'm happy for everyone who wanted housing because they really got it, like, in a really good form. They did. But damn, yeah, I'm sick of housing too.
Because this is not directly tied to player power, but it should be something you are aware of. In March, we should be able to get another housing endeavor rotation, which gives us some nice structured side content, rewards, and other progression incentives over our account that evolve over time. This is great for players who like additional side content, collections on their account, community-driven activities, and all that fun stuff. Also, sometime in Midnight, we should also get the community engagement quest to open up as well. I do not know when this is going to be active, but
the next set of endeavors, it's going to be active. It was data mining. I mean, Jesus Christ, Blizzard, what the fuck? They said they weren't going to tie player housing to player power. Well, they kind of lied a little bit and backdoored you, but, finger popped you on the back door out. So, and listen, you're going to get crests for basically just having a house. This quest right here is pretty damn easy. All you got to do is be part of a neighborhood that has an endeavor active and just be doing your regular shit. If you're running dungeons, if you're doing Mythic Plus, if you're doing raids, you're contributing to your neighborhood's endeavor. And if they have an endeavor active, which hopefully they do, you're going to complete this quest. Because all you got to do is spend some community coupons and you're going to complete this quest. You get yourself 20 crests, which is a lot. Heroic crests. You're capped at 100 per week. You can get 1/5 of them just from this, literally doing nothing other than playing the game. So while Blizzard said we're not going to tie any player power to housing, they are a little bit. They lied a little bit. So if I can say anything to everybody out there who doesn't care about housing, at least create a house in a public neighborhood, and you'll get free crests just for having a fucking house. Don't even got to customize it. Just have a damn house.
Be on the lookout for this quest, as it does give you crest and is tied to player power that are very powerful for progressing your character at least once a week. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, before the season starts, you have to find a guild, man. This is something players constantly delay until the season opens up, and by then, most established groups are already locked in and ready to go. So right now is the perfect time in preseason to try and secure a spot in any guild you're looking for, whether it be for solo players or pugs or communities or RPs or housing or PvP, whatever the case may be. Joining a guild in World of Warcraft makes the experience 10 times better.
He's not wrong. I have the Samiccus Guildicus. You can join the Guildicus is what it's called, and I'll just keep endeavors active for the sake of keeping them active. So every month, and chat will remind me to activate one if I forget. So if you want to do that, you can, but you don't have to join my guild. It's a fucking shitty guild, I'm not going to lie. We don't do shit, other than maybe raid. But fuck it. You don't have to be in the guild to raid with me either. Just fucking show up and chat. The guild is really just so we could have a neighborhood.
Come, let us lay waste to this realm.
And Noose, thank you for the follow, man. I appreciate that. Welcome to our Scourge.
Better. Please do yourself a favor and join a guild. And if you're interested in even joining ours, click the Discord link, join the Discord, and we'll get you locked into the guild. Moving on next, we do have the priority checklist. This is the part of the video where you're going to want to take a screenshot to make sure you have this locked in, ready to go for launch day on the second monitor. First up, you want to make sure you pick your professions immediately. Then, while you're out in the zones questing and leveling up, make sure to pick up your knowledge treasure tools for that extra 24 points of knowledge early on.
Good point.
After that, complete the full campaign while leveling to max level. Do not just spam dungeons. Finish all of the main story quests across the zones and campaigns to unlock all the bonus systems in the end game. Third, the second you hit max level, you want to go to Silver Moon and grab your weekly quest and clear high-value world quest on the map and finish your special assignments to get some easy veteran gear.
I actually don't think world quests will even be available in early access, just an FYI. Really, like, it's number 2. Number 1 and number 2 are your early access points. Get professions and finish the campaign. Those are the best things you can do, and enjoy it. Like I said, imagine having fun playing a video game. What a foreign concept to WoW players. But yeah, number 1 and number 2, if you got early access, do those two and enjoy it. Take your time until March 2nd when it actually goes live. Then you can start picking up all the other shit.
Not forget, when it comes to World Quest, you want to prioritize reputation and coffer key shards. Fourth, complete each zone's weekly world event, as these feed toward renown, currencies, and great account progress. And if you have some extra time, start farming renown reputation across the 4 different renowns and use contracts if you want to target them specifically faster. Do the introductory quest line to Delves and Prey completely so you're ready for Season 1 on launch day. And if you're missing any pieces...
Yeah, Jawei is saying, yeah, people have asked me why didn't I create a community neighborhood? Yeah, it's because the guild neighborhood expands beyond. It's the highest number, so it goes up to 999, as Conisia said there, yeah. So we could just have infinite people, basically, in the guild neighborhood.
Of gear that you're desperate to acquire, use heroic dungeons as filler to finish out your character. From there, you could start farming PvP and getting your honor gear ready to go. And lastly, before Season 1 launches, get your ass in a guild and look for a community. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up today's video on what to do week 1 of Midnight Launch. I hope you all got something out of it. If you learned anything from this video or as excited as I am, let me get some Midnight hype in the comment section below. Until the very end, my name is Sky from the Comeback Kids. Love you guys. God bless. I'll see you in the next one.
Nice one.
One last note we wanted to make.
Join their guild. Yes, join their guild for sure.
Come there and invite tab. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content, consider subscribing or check out one of the videos you see on screen here to stay up to date on all things Warcraft. My name's Sky for the Comeback Kids. It's an absolute pleasure to make content for you all. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Nice. Yeah, overall, I agree a lot with his list. I mean, look, early access really is just about doing the campaign. So do the campaign, enjoy the campaign. After that, yeah, delves and shit, you can get into that for sure before the season officially kicks off, which is when really everything else opens up for sure. Nice video overall. I agree with a lot of what they said. For the most part, I would say have fun. It's the #1 goal of early part of the expansion. Nice one from the Comeback Kids. I'll link this in the chat.